Hello, everyone. Listen, it is your girl Brita Filter. Yes, mother, I'm back in this den. Welcome to Turn It and Learn It. This is my weekly Instagram live series where I interview guest experts to tell us about what we need to get us through these motherfucking tough pandemic times, honey. Yes, honey. Listen, I haven't performed live in over a year. And 9 days, bitch. I'm counting. And I'm so excited. Today I am here with my fabulous friend, who I haven't actually met in real life, but I'm meeting for the first time here. But we've been chatting on the Instagrams. The one and only Andrew J. Duffer. And listen, you might know Andrew from their incredible rants here on Instagram, where and they're absolutely incredible. Andrew,
Hello, bitch.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited for this. I've been so pumped. I know that I was supposed to have you last week, but then some shit went down and I couldn't do it. But I'm so glad that you're here because I love you so much.
I love you, and I love that you love me. That makes me.
Yeah, to me, honestly, you have become a gay icon during this pandemic for me with all of these rants that you're doing. For those of you who don't know, if you don't know Andrew, you've been sitting under a damn rock. Let me tell you that Andrew created these like 5-minute rants. And it happened during the pandemic, right? It started
Yeah.
during the pandemic. Yeah, it started during the pandemic. And they're so incredible. And what they really do is that you're not only so educated, but they are hysterical because you a joke master, truly and honestly,
I do.
and you are fighting back against homophobia, racism, and hypocrisy, truly, in all of these little rants. How did you get started with this? What made you want to do this during? I'm sure you were bored during the pandemic.
Well, I mean, that was one thing. There's nothing to do. So, like I told you, I come from a country bumpkin, podunk town, rural area, super red, very homophobic, very racist. And I grew up with all of these people. And I mean, I know how they are and they know who I am, but it's different when you know them. It's almost like they get a pass, but you still don't approve of their behavior, and you kind of tolerate them because they're in your community and you go to church with them and school with them and you have to be around them. So you do what you can to keep the peace. And I lived in that town for 21 years and I held my tongue, because I'm the odd one out. I'm the gay kid. I'm the abomination that doesn't belong. But I left and I moved to the Dallas Fort Worth area, and they're posting these Trump posts on social media, and I don't say anything because it's their social media and they can post whatever they want. I cannot.
Yeah.
Someone comes to my page and complains about something that I've posted. So I just kept my mouth shut. But the thing that was interesting is they would post something and then they would come talk to me privately and be like, hey, I know that you're gay and I don't have anything against you and I love you, but I support Trump and and they would always try to justify it. And I'm like, I didn't say anything to you. But the fact that you feel the need to come and justify who you're voting for should tell you everything you need to know about your candidate.
Yeah.
And that happened more and more frequently. And I would go home and visit because every birthday and holiday I'm back in that town because my parents still live there. And they would see me like at the grocery store, at Walmart, and they would ask me how I was doing. Then they would bring up Donald Trump. And I'm like, why are we talking about this? And I just kind of got fed up with it. So I just kind of made like a public service announcement with Tea Time and just like, I'm going to indirectly blast you bitches. And that's that.
I love it so much. Like, have you always been a comedian? They are so funny. You are so funny. Like, you're giving Bianca Del Rio a run for her money almost
I
sometimes.
love Bianca Del Rio. I don't
I
think
know you do. I saw you posting about her.
she invited me to her show in Irving and I almost died.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Like, have you always been like the class clown or like the funny bitch out of the group?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a good sense of humor. I love to make people laugh. That's what I've always wanted to do is make people laugh. And now I make people laugh and educate them at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, totally. Speaking of educating them, you really have, everything is so researched. I don't know if you research it or you're just so knowledgeable on everything. Like what are the news sources that you go to, and how do you find out all this information? Because I like to think that because of the election, I have also been trying to surround myself around well-educated people and trying to educate myself. Because honestly, before Donald Trump was elected, I didn't know the tea. I didn't know the tea about politics. And I've been educating myself. So, but it's hard to cut through fake news sometimes because everyone is trying to tell you something, and you really, really are so educated on the topics that you talk about. Is it research? Is there a specific news source that you like, or what's the tea?
Well, the tea, I research it because, like you, before Donald Trump, I didn't care about politics. I didn't keep up with politics. I didn't give a shit. And with Trump, I think that 2020 woke up a lot of people, and it really was just kind of like a kick in the ass. And so I started watching the news more, and I started following, Republican lawmakers, Democrat lawmakers, and just trying to get involved. And once I got involved and educated myself, I realized like how scary it is not to be educated and not to know what's going on, because stuff like, taking your rights away and your civil liberties, like just right out under your nose, and you don't even realize it. And it really made me want to be involved. And so it's almost like I write a research paper every week about current events, and I just throw in some cuss words and some jokes because, like you said, there's so much fake news out there. And I really just want to educate people because we live in a society where people don't read news articles. They read headlines, and the media loves manipulative headlines. And
Yeah,
you that read headlines and they call themselves educated. I know what's going on. And then you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz
girl.
who know that these people only read headlines. They're not educated. And then they start, destroying democracy with 140 characters or less on Twitter. Um, and I just want to cut through all the bullshit and educate people. And the people that probably need to hear it the most don't listen to it. But
Yeah.
at least I'm giving people ammunition and facts to have those conversations with their Trump supporting family members, because I hear it all the time. It's like, I know that Trump is a bad guy, but when I'm talking to my family, I don't have the facts. I don't have the tools that I need to debate with them and have a conversation with them. So even if Trump supporters aren't watching my videos, the people that are watching them can regurgitate what I've told them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important, especially for young people today, because they don't know how to fight back towards their family, especially when it comes to homophobia and discrimination against other people, whether their religion or race. I know so many people that just aren't educated. These little girls that watch RuPaul's Drag Race, they love Drag Race, but like, mama, they couldn't tell you a single thing about politics. So it's so amazing to see that there's another human being out there like you in the gay community who's educating the motherfucking children. I live for it so much, and you're doing, and you do it so well. Also, wait, do you memorize every single little thing that you do?
Okay, I'll give you the tea, Britta.
Give me the tea, because I am a horrible memorizer. And I was like, I bought an app that where it scrolls on my screen, and I'm still shitty at that. You must perfected something.
So the first 4 or 5 videos that I did, the first video was just off the cuff. Like I would just hit record, went at it. And then
Yeah.
I went viral, and I had millions of views and all of these followers, and I'm like, okay, I need to watch what I say. So I started memorizing them. I would write out my thoughts and then I would memorize it. And then I think there was one video, I think it's my do it for share video. I said sexual preference and I meant sexual orientation. And like, obviously I know the difference. I'm gay as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I fucked up. I'm talking 100 miles an hour. and I'm doing this all in one take. And I had already posted it, and then I realized, like, oh shit. So then I found this teleprompter app, and
Work.
I type everything out, I research it, I fact check it, and I put it in my prompter, and then I read it. But the first ones were from memory. I want my credit for my first videos being from memory, but
There
now
you go.
it's from a teleprompter because there's a lot of facts and a lot of
I
information.
mean, yeah, you are laying it out. You are laying it out 100%. And it's so important. And it's so important to get the facts right for the younger people. I mean, not even younger people. There's people that I know that are my fucking age that still don't know half this shit. You tell me shit every single week, and I was like, wait, is that no shit?
Like, I posted that video, my QAnon video, where I was talking about how child marriage is still legal in the US. And all these people were like, that's not real. And then they were like, I fact checked it. That's true. Holy shit. And it's just like so much stuff happening under our nose that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
I try to take current events and tie it back with history. Because
That's, I mean, you know, speaking of current events, coming up soon here is the Texas election, which is so important in 2022. How do you plan on using your platform to educate fellow Texans at what's at stake? Because the governor is up for re-election. I think the whole U.S. House of Representatives for Texas, they're all up for re-election, and even the Senate spots in the state are also up for re-election. It's such a huge important move in 2022 for people in Texas, and I mean, and of course we have what happened with the governor during the ice
greedy
storm, girl. Greedy Abbott.
So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the presidential election. We're going to have tea time every week. I'm going to blast the fuck out of Greg Abbott. But while we're here, let's talk about Greg Abbott. What is so important that we need to remember how Greg Abbott handled COVID. And we need to remember how he handled the power grid situation. You know that Greg Abbott has gotten $150 million in donations since he's been governor, and that's more than any governor in U.S. history. And 26 million of those donations came from the gas and oil industry, which is exactly why right after everything happened in Texas, he went on Fox News and started bashing the Green New Deal and blaming everything on the wind turbines, which is one of the smallest percentages of our power source here. So he knows what he's doing. He's covering his ass and getting his money.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, when that oak tree fell on him and paralyzed him when he was 27, he got millions of dollars in the settlement. And that's fine. He's going to get a six-figure salary for the rest of his life every single year. And that's fine. But since he's been in office, he has pushed policies and voted for things that prohibit people from getting that same kind of settlement. So once Greg gets his, he doesn't care about anybody else. He got his vaccine and then he opened Texas. And we're not, there's a small percentage of, I think we're like 6-7% vaccinated. I'm not even sure. Don't quote me on that, but we're not vaccinated. We're not high up there.
Yeah. No, I've seen that. Everything is fucking open out there. Girls are doing shows and people are going to brunch and they're right next to each other, not wearing their damn masks. I'm grateful that I'm over here in Hawaii on my island, just like away from all the bullshit that's happening on the mainland. Sis, if you want to come over here and just wait it out with me, you're more than welcome to. You bring your pup. But you know, it's so important, especially in Texas. And I'm honestly so grateful for you because it's such an important state.
If we turn Texas blue, we're 38 electoral votes. If Texas goes blue and stays blue, we probably won't ever have a Republican president. So Texas needs to turn blue, and that's why Democrats are trying to educate themselves on what Stacey Abrams did so we can do the same thing here. And Republicans are just continuing on with their voter suppression tactics because if they don't cheat and lie and steal, then they can't win. And they know that. And they've admitted that.
Yeah.
Problem with the 2020 election wasn't voter fraud. It was that we had a higher voter turnout. And that scared the shit out of Republicans. And that's why they're trying to pass all these laws to suppress votes and silence minorities.
with how educated you are and with all this popularity of all these videos, have you ever thought about, I don't know, getting into politics or representing people within your community or your state or something like that?
I um I really don't want to go into politics.
Yeah.
So I tell people I'm not Washington, I'm more Hollywood. And I'm more of an entertainer. I'm more of a comedian. And I'm just using those abilities that I have to teach people about politics. I've always wanted to be on TV. I've always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. I've always wanted a platform, and I've always wanted to use that platform for good and to educate people. And now that I have one, that's what I'm doing. And I want to continue to do that. And I feel like you said, this younger generation is obsessed with RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, who's not? I love RuPaul's Drag Race. But they couldn't tell you anything about politics. But I feel like celebrities, and not that I'm a celebrity, but people in pop culture, people in Hollywood have such an influence over all of these people that don't pay attention to politics. So I feel like whether I'm in Washington or Hollywood, I can still do the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so funny you say that because I believe the same exact way. It was solely my mission after the pandemic and happened and Drag Race my season. I was like, listen, truly all there is right now is the election. Like that's the thing that I specifically need to focus on as a human being because I have this platform and it's time for me to just like, really shine a light. And I became I'm the national co-chair of Drag Out the Vote and doing my goddamn thing to really make sure that people know the fucking tea. And I'm so happy that you're doing it too. That's why I love you so much. Is because you're doing these things to specifically help our community and to educate them on what's going on. It's funny. I have to ask you something. I just got a brand new podcast with World of Wonder, and it's called You Brita Vote, and it's all about politics. I am going out there, girl. I'm asking Stacey Abrams, AOC to be a guest, and I would love for you to come on one of the episodes to be a guest with me and to just shoot the shit about what's going down because you're just so educated, and I think it's so important for people like us to stick together and to shoot the shit together to educate these motherfucking children.
Let's fucking do it. I'm down. Let's do it.
Yes. Okay, good. I love that. Also, so and the next question I have for you is that so your popularity rose incredibly quickly throughout the pandemic, and and I know that you've been criticized for things that you said, and we've even had messages back and forth where people are just people. I mean, people are fucking assholes, especially during the pandemic. I was like, dude, what else do you have to do than to tell me how much you hate me online? Because of something that I said on a TV show that produced good drama for your ass. So people get fucking wild on the internet, and I've really gone through it this year with unkind messages from people. I would get thousands of messages from people telling me these horrible things, like having to go kill myself. I had to go to the cops. I had to tell them that this guy over here sent me this email. He wants to push me off the subway platform in New York City. It's crazy. How do you deal with that? Those messages.
Well, I try not to take it personal, and
It's hard.
it is hard because when I first went viral, everyone made fun of my voice and they thought that I was trans, and they make fun of my teeth. I have one gapped tooth and they act like I have Bubba teeth. And just like,
girl, I got a missing tooth over here. I got lower teeth over here in the back.
so I don't have respect for these people, first of all. And so it's like, if you don't really have respect for someone, then how do they have any power over you? And I just block it. I just delete the comment and block it. And it's so funny because I will delete the comment and they'll come back and post it again. And then I'll delete it. And sometimes they'll post it again. And I'm like, is that how you're spending your time? Are you that bored? But I don't give them any power over me. It's sometimes I'll read something and, my first reaction is like my stomach drops or I kind of feel like crap, and then it goes away. But it's gotten easier the more that it happens. It's always so funny. I'm sitting here preaching about women's rights and how, making abortion illegal doesn't stop abortion. It just stops safe abortions. And they're telling me how they're pro-life. And in the same sentence, they're like, your mother should have had an abortion. And I'm like, which is it?
Pick one.
So
Well, I think it's so important because cyberbullying, especially now during this pandemic, is a real thing for a lot of people. And because the only thing we truly have is social media. Like I'm here in Hawaii. I miss my friends so much, but I'm hanging out with my family and like my three nieces who are all under the age of 6. Like, so I think it's important to just to tell people how to deal with it, and I think that's great advice for people, so thank you for that.
I mean, I wish I had some magic answer, but it's not gonna stop. And if you're gonna be online, it's gonna happen, and you just have to choose: are you gonna give them power over you, or are you just gonna fuck the haters? I mean, literally, I get I just delete it. I don't even finish reading it. If I see it's going a certain way, delete.
Yeah, same. Delete, block, bye.
I love it because sometimes I'll delete their comment and then they'll message me and it's like, I thought you were for freedom of speech. Took away my freedom of speech.
Oh my god, people are so wild. They are crazy. Yeah, I used to reply like, oh, God bless your heart, all these nice little things, and then I was like, I'm not gonna, truly, I'm just wasting my time giving these people any energy. So it's so important to just ignore it. um uh, so you what was that?
I'm in Facebook jail right now, so I've had to stop.